Or do we just want to wait until 7:15? Let's wait.
What are we talking about?
ZPT is going to be
Oh,
joining
the
us.
gas.
No,
No,
ZPT
solar.
is 0 Point.
Gas?
ZPT is
Oh,
the
is he
solar
on,
company.
on the owl too?
He will be.
Here, I'm just going to share that because nobody...
Join the meeting.
Why would you even ask for a certificate of compliance?
I'm just going to let them wait. Okay.
Yeah, but he's still in the planning board, aren't they?
All right, let's do our...
He still wants to get his message across.
Wow. That's the guy from wherever.
Are we looking at minutes or what are we doing?
Yeah, we should look at minutes.
Okay.
I need to find my... I looked at this stuff. I should have written my notes down, but I didn't do that. Oh, wow, that was fast. And I have a motion to accept the minutes for January 11th.
Make a motion to accept the minutes for January 11th.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Do we have any bills to pay?
We have two.
Okay. I have two bills. Both of them are for Valentini Land Care. Can I have a motion to pay Valentini Land Care $175 and $40?
Make a motion to pay Valentini Land Care in the amount of $175 and $40.
Second?
All in favor? Corinne, do we have anything for you?
Yep.
Is that it for bills?
That's it.
Okay, can I have a motion to ratify payroll? And
Make a motion to ratify payroll for week ending January 14th in the amount of $122.45.
okay,
January 21st, $118.23.
yeah,
January 28th, $101.34.
yeah.
And February 4th, $101.34.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And here you go, Corinne.
Thank you.
We have, oh, you know what, why don't you bring up, what we talked about,
Okay,
Donna Young, what did she say?
Phone call from Donna Young. She needs to set up a meeting before work is done on her property according to the special conditions that we did on her property.
Did they put, did they already put, did she say that they installed erosion control? Are they ready?
Nope, this pre-construction, this is what she was talking about, pre-construction meeting.
Meeting shall take place with committee.
She's hoping to get started in May, but
It's like, oh, I forgot that she has, does she have publication requirements? I don't remember. did she leave a phone number to reach her at?
She did, she just wrote her.
Will you,
regular phone number.
when you get emails, will you, and phone calls, can you email me?
Yep.
That would help me because a piece of paper ends up in the
Nope, I definitely can. Did you need the
something.
file to go through, or?
I'll probably need to take that with me, or some version of that, but if you would just email,
Yep.
just so I can take a look at.
Do that?
I don't really want myself on here, but there I am. Do we have anything else? When is the MACC meeting and when is the deadline for us to sign up? And do you wanna go?
I think
I know you don't
did I
ever wanna
forward
go,
that?
but,
Are you interested in going?
yeah,
Yeah.
I always
Is
do.
it in person or is it?
It's in person. I would not go.
I would not go if it was online.
If it's online, that's just too much hell for me, but.
Didn't I email you that one?
You did, I was just wondering if you like
Did
paid
write
attention
down.
to it for us.
Yeah, I did, but I forgot to write it down.
Okay, so never mind. I have an email, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
And, I don't know when we have to sign up, but what day is today? February? It's like March, we probably need to sign up like right away. You know, after we deal with this stuff, I will, I'll look before we leave. Okay. All right, I need to figure out how I'm doing this. There's two different things going on. I'm sharing a screen, which should be, let's see, Zoom. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna do this. Ah, there we go. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, Resmi, or how do you say your name?
Your last name.
Rasmi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. How's it going?
Yeah, it's going pretty well.
That's good.
We have just 2 minutes before we can open up the public hearing,
Okay.
and, let me just, okay.
And be quiet.
Join the meeting.
Rasmi, do you have anybody else, or is it just you?
Oh yes, I do have a coworker, Teresa, for tenantry. She's right there as well.
Hello, I'm also with BSC Group.
Oh, okay, Teresa.
Yeah.
Excellent, all right. Do you have, this is the only graphic I have.
Okay.
Oh, I do have one more, sorry. I take that back. That, we don't really need that. There's this. Which
Yes.
it really, honestly, is not entirely helpful, so
No problem.
I'm gonna go back to this graphic then. I
Okay.
don't have the other, but, it's just a tad early, but I'm gonna open, the public hearing, for Boston Gas Company, the project on Old Warren Road.
Yes.
And, thank you, for the information that you sent. We do have the one copy. Do you have, by any chance, we only have one copy of this, which makes it difficult for, for 4 of us to review. Do you
Yeah.
have an electronic version of this that can be sent along for our files?
Quite absolutely.
Oh, good,
You can do that.
excellent.
Yeah, definitely.
So So at our last meeting, we were introduced to this project, and ultimately we had a pretty basic understanding of what you were doing, but now we have a little more detail about the HDD installation.
Yep.
So after reading this, I do have a couple of questions, but maybe you could, because I think I'm the only one who read it, maybe one of the two of you could just do a high-level explanation about how this works.
So the HDD process alone?
Yep, the HDD process.
No, works, definitely, we can do that. So, pretty much the process itself involves specialized drill rig that will be on the surface roadway itself. That will pretty much dig a tunnel underneath the waterway, and as the tunnel is being dug, it also will be installing the pipe from the entry point in Westbrook Field underneath the culvert itself in the waterway, and then it comes out in water at the exit there. And that is pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay, so you have this on the map. Oh, I have it myself. No. So on the Warren side on the map, can you see?
Yeah.
It says entry point, so this is really the exit point.
Yes, that was a mistake. You can fix that. Okay, that is the exit point. Thank you.
That is the exit point. See, that makes sense. Okay, and the entry point is here, and it's a larger area to collect all of the water, etc. Is that correct?
Yeah, so stage all the machine. The drill rig itself will be there as well. So that's why it's not such a big area. Everything will be there mainly. So, yeah.
Okay, so, all right, so you have a drill, and there's a hole at the tip of the drill, and and water and bentonite is pushed through, or is the bentonite, so it's like a slurry of water and bentonite that goes through, and it?
Yes.
Okay.
So that also, yeah.
How deep is the entry and exit pit? I'm just curious. You have a plan dimension, but there's no, like, do you dig down a little bit?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure exactly of the dimensions, but I don't think it goes too far. I know it goes underneath the culvert and the river itself, but and it will be 10 feet underneath the culvert. But I'm not the exact dimension of that, unfortunately.
Okay, I have 30 by 20 as the, shape, but I wasn't sure if it went down deep or.
Oh yes, it does go down pretty deep, definitely.
Oh,
Yeah.
Could you say that again?
It does go down deep, but not too deep. Yeah, just
You have to stay above groundwater, I'm assuming.
Sorry?
You'll have to stay above groundwater?
Oh, underneath groundwater. Oh, sorry, yes, above groundwater, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I have a couple of questions, just bear with me, I'm just gonna flip through my book. I didn't write them down on a separate piece of paper. Dewatering. In the event that you need to dewater, you discussed, the first choice would be to find some vegetation that was up gradient and pump through that. And then I wasn't really clear why you wouldn't just use a bag.
I believe a bag could also be used, and that will also probably be done all upland. But we also just cultivate also upland outside all any resource areas and just pump all that water out there. So both options work pretty well.
Okay, I'm really struggling. I'm struggling to hear you because it sounds like you're coming in and out.
Sorry about that. It's part of my microphone. Can you hear me now? Is that better?
Yeah, it's a little bit better. So say that again.
Oh, no, I was just saying that yes, the watering could be done with a bag as well, and that will be upland, and the water will be put all outside resource areas. So both ways work pretty well for this project.
So I think that, and I don't know if I'm, okay, so here's the thing, when they dewater, my concern is that they're gonna, put the pump down, it's not gonna go to the bottom like, following BMPs, which is great. But it's still gonna be turbid water, and that water, if you have to pump out either of these holes, you would have to pump out, it would be bentonite turbid water, right?
Potentially, yes, but it's non-toxic, it's a safe substance, so it won't cause any issue really. And it's also used in farmland, so.
Yeah, no, I get
Yeah.
that, but it's also, it's super fine,
Mm-hmm.
and then it would just, honestly, I don't know if it makes a difference, but it's super fine, it would spread.
Yeah.
I think I would just prefer to have a flock log and a
Yeah.
bag.
Yeah, flock log would be a good idea to try and reduce some of that sediment load of the water, in case it needs to be pumped out. You said that you would try and do it away from the resource area if you were to pump it out. There's a lot of property owners around that street on both sides.
Mhm. Yeah.
There is a big field on one side of the street, but I don't know if you've spoken to anybody about using that. When you say that you would move it out of the resource area, I don't know if you've planned for that or whether that's just something you've thought about. I don't know if you've contacted anybody before you just pump bentonite water onto their front lawns or anything.
Also, I believe the water that's going to be pumped out shouldn't have any sediment or anything of the sort really. It should be clear water for the most part. And if there's a filter bag used, all of that slurry sediment will be stored within the filter bag. So it will just be clear water for the most part.
Okay,
so
so-
the housing bag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but, they're, in the document, they said that's like a second or third choice if they have to, but initially they won't. What we will likely do is put the use of a filter bag in the conditions.
Okay.
And, in the event that you do need it, then the filter bag would be preferable with a flock log, so
Okay.
we can contain that, because there's a lot of residents in the area, and there's also, in that area, there's not a lot of wetlands, there's just the stream, and there didn't seem to be any wetlands.
There's the stream there. Quaywog River is downstream there, but it's further than 200 feet.
Yeah.
There is quite a bit of wetlands on the other side of the street, but I think they're probably also 200 feet away.
Yeah, there's some, I didn't see anything immediately when I pulled it up on
Yeah.
GIS.
There's a
Okay,
big flood control structure, that field there.
and that I actually, there was a comment in the document that addressed, there's a lot of water pressure to have this be successful, and it said that, what is it called when water pushes up through?
I believe it's called inadvertent release.
Okay, so that happens usually when it's 20 feet or closer to the top, and it doesn't even look like you're going down 20 feet.
Yeah.
So does that create more of a risk for that to occur?
Yeah, a little bit of a risk for sure. And that usually is what happens sometimes, not in all cases, at the entry and exit points, which is what we have a plan for that in case anything of the sort happens. And that plan is also all in attachment E of the NOI.
So do you, just as a precaution, put baffles or something in the stream during this process?
Definitely, yeah. We'll have straw bottles by the banks and also we'll have turbidity curtain within the river itself so that any sediment or debris will be caught right there in case anything does happen.
So that you automatically do that before you even do work?
Well, yeah, before we start, we put it down control right away. All BMPs we put in place right away.
And that's,
It just,
in the stream, what do you call it? What is the thing that goes in the stream?
it's a turbidity curtain.
Oh, yeah, right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that ultimately, what do I have? Your site personnel responsibilities were a little bit vague, but somewhere else you get into detail, so that's fine.
Yeah.
And then your containment materials, those are kept on site?
Yes, will be kept on site, probably within the roadway itself, and I know if we do have any small piles or sediment piles, I know they will be put in open areas and straw, with straw piles pretty much all around them, so everything will be contained.
Okay. That is that's the extent of my questions.
If, I got one question.
Okay,
If everything went according to plan, digging up the road and getting the road back to cover travel, how long? Just roughly, a month, 6 weeks?
For the whole process?
Yes.
I know for projects of this sort, it usually takes between 3 to 5 weeks, but this is a much smaller project, so I would estimate probably about 3 weeks, a little less than that.
All right.
We don't know for sure. It
Okay,
won't take too long.
all right, I'm just curious, please detail.
oh.
You'll be happy.
You have a new job?
No, no, I don't have a new job, but you'll be happy.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, 3 weeks is,
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
that's not so bad. And you do this in the summer, do you have given the approvals, you were going to move on this right away?
Yes, I do it right away.
Yeah,
That's what we're hoping. Yeah.
that's what that said. Okay, does anybody have any additional questions?
No, I'm good.
Teresa, do you have anything to add? Anything you want to say?
No, he covered it.
All right.
I have one question too. Is it on the diagram in front of us? You have
Oh.
a green slashed line with like 2 arrows.
These right here. What is that?
What is that?
Huh, I'm not sure entirely sure what that is.
Okay, Erasmi, that is like, you're not making us feel warm and fuzzy here.
Awesome.
Right?
Teresa?
It's,
It's in the road.
okay, so it goes
I'm
back
gonna
further.
check it to see if it's the, existing.
No, the existing is the purple line. I mean, I'm sorry, the existing is down here, near the edge of the road. And then what is this? Also, I'm just gonna move this over a little bit because there is somewhat identical bow tie here within, we're just sort of curious what these were.
Yeah, hold on 1 second, let me look at different plan. So do you have the environmental resource map that was submitted with the filing?
Oh. All right, I'm gonna just hold this up because this is the only map that we have. Was that map?
Yes. So the yellow is the abandoned portion of the gas line.
Right,
So I believe that is what you're seeing with the,
well,
I
no,
think so, no.
it can't because, that would be over here on the edge of the road. Oh, there I go. Uh-oh. That would be, and you can see the abandoned line is this little pale blue over here, yeah. And it goes by the bridge. Anyway, I mean, it's,
no, hold on. Sorry, I'm just looking. Was that submitted in
it's above,
the filing?
this is what we,
And was that part of
we asked
the
for,
NOI submittal?
oh gosh, when did we
Or
got
was that
this,
supplemental?
that was supplemental, it wasn't in the filing, and we ended up getting,
Okay.
Yeah, and also, so yeah, was in by pretty much engineering, so. I'm
Got
sorry.
it. So I apologize, I'm filling in and looking at the submittal, and that's why I remember the supplemental, so.
well, you know what, I'll just send an email to, Carolyn, is it Carolyn?
Yes,
And see if she can answer that question. I don't think it's gonna, you know, it doesn't necessarily impact anything here because we get the gist of what's gonna happen. You know, you're in the center of the road. The only time it would be of concern is if you have a problem.
Yeah.
And so I think we're good.
Okay.
Okay. It's more curious, like there's no key or legend on this little extra page here.
Yeah, so the green is the existing to be abandoned. And the blue is also the existing to be abandoned.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Interesting.
It doesn't show that on this other plan that you submitted.
So it may be because we will follow up and rectify what that is because I'm looking at the legend of the plan and both are identified as existing to be abandoned.
Oh,
The
wow.
green is and the purple is the proposed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all right. No questions?
I'm good.
Questions?
All right, so, can I have a motion to close the public hearing for Boston Gas Company on Old West Warren Road?
Make a motion to close the hearing for Boston Gas Company on Old Warren Road.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So what we will do, is that we have some additional people to discuss things with.
Yeah.
After that, what we will do is that we will go through, write conditions, and we'll vote on those conditions today. So the conditions are really generic stuff. The only thing that we'll add, likely, is the request to use the filter bag and flock log instead of using the side of the road and some vegetation.
Yeah.
And other than that, whatever you had in the plan is going to hold, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay, so we will send everything to, let me just, are we sending it to Jamie Walker for Boston Gas Company?
So the actual order itself, if you could please send to Carolyn.
Okay,
We do the recordings for them, so.
yeah, okay, send conditions to Carolyn. That sounds good, glad I checked. That's it?
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
And I'll send you a copy of the NOI by email as well, so you can have that as well.
Oh, say that again?
I'll send you a copy, an electronic copy of the NOI.
Oh, please. Okay, yeah, that would be great, thank you.
No, my pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right.
I wonder if there were two gas lines. Like one
Yeah, I
is
was wondering that too.
old, and that's, the second one is the one on the side of the road?
Yeah, I was wondering that too.
Yeah, it could have been.
I mean, depending how long ago they put the gas line in, I don't know how long they last.
Exactly. Okay, who do we have? We have Pete, N.A., Andy Glines,
Where does it come from?
and
Is
Andrea here?
Andrea's still stuck on her other meeting, but we can start up when we're ready.
Pete, how come I can't see you?
Brookfield.
Comes from Center Warren.
I can fix
Yeah, how
that.
does it get to the center Warren? Where's the gas pumping place?
Oh, I don't know. You mean where the main comes in?
Yeah.
Andy,
Which direction does it come from?
have we met?
Yes. I did attend the hearing a while back. I've been a project engineer from the beginning on this one, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
who was the other guy from Fuss O'Neill that was regularly on this project?
I believe Dan Delaney out of our Springfield office.
No, older
Sean
guy.
Martin?
think it was Sam Hemingway.
Ah, Sam.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe Sam, maybe that's what
Yeah.
it was, yep, okay. All right, let me get rid of this stuff and find you guys. That is LEC, Todd King, oh, for goodness sakes. That is not, I've got that. All right, you know what? I've got a lot of stuff for you guys up here, and what is this? You know, I don't need that, I don't need that. I'm gonna leave because I don't need that. Here we go. All right. So how have you guys been?
Good, how you doing?
Yeah, not so bad. Let me find your paperwork. Okay, so just for the record, we have ZPT, Energy Solutions, Fuss & O'Neill, and we should have Andrea from, who is the wetland scientist from LEC, will be joining us. They have a request for certificate of compliance, a partial certificate request for, a partial certificate of compliance. There's Andrea. Your timing is impeccable, Andrea.
Yes, thank you.
It's good.
Tell me what you want to know.
Well, thanks for the report and the pictures. I actually went out in the fall before things died down to look at the replication area. I have to say, did you use, what wetland mix did you use? Because that thing took off like a banshee. Did you
Yeah,
use
it was the New England wetland plants seed mix, and then we also had plugs in there as well, different.
I could see a couple of the shrubs, but honestly, it was so full of wetland plants that I really couldn't go and find any of the trees that were supposed to be in there. I was kind of struggling. I see that you have a couple of pictures, and I appreciate that, but I was like, I didn't feel like bushwhacking it through it either. So frankly, I stuck around the edges as best I could. But yeah, New England Wetland Supply, I'm telling you, every time we've ever used their seeds, they grow as opposed to like a rapid die-off, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
What I didn't notice necessarily was the areas of temporary impact. I'm going to bring this up so everybody is, all right, here we go. I'm just going to, I think this, sorry. I have one of two versions. I have, Andrew, I don't know if you're the one who responded to this, but there's like a back and forth between, so there were some plans that were submitted about some changes that were made. Beals and Thomas reviewed it and had a lot of questions, and somebody from Fuss & O'Neill responded, so like the chaos of this particular document is really astounding. But I think that most of it was pretty well covered. There was a couple of questions I had about these areas. But when you go on the site and you cross, there's that stream crossing that was put on the site. The new bridge, I'm gonna call it a bridge, is it a bridge? That crosses the stream, and then there's this area right here where my mouse is going back and forth. That was supposed to be temporarily impacted. And then it was pretty much just like impacted during construction, and then they reseeded it. I mean, Andrea, right? You guys put in plugs and reseeded?
Right. From my understanding, and I'm sure I can be, things can be expanded upon. Some areas weren't even touched at all. Some areas where they put the replace the culvert, they installed it, put the riprap in, and then we replanted the area just down gradient, for example. And then kind of areas up and down, east or west, from there. Really, that was all. It didn't really need any other restoration plantings in there at all. So that was the extent on that south side.
Yeah, on the south side, we really cut back the vegetation to put the hay bales in, and that's what caused like the temporary disturbance, and then we reseeded and put plugs in on the culvert ends, like Andrea said.
See, okay, so for some reason, in my mind, I have this vision of grass being down instead of, and I don't know if that was like a temporary thing where there was just like regular grass that was thrown down there, like on a bunch of that area, or maybe it was in a different area, but it's been a while.
On the side slopes, there was grass put down, but at the point where it transitioned to the wetland, and those stakes were installed to demarcate what was wetland and what's, I guess, up gradient buffer from there, the grass was the limit of, the grass was installed in upland, everything down gradient. In the wetland, there was no grass seed put in.
So I'm just trying to find the edge of the road. Is the edge of the road right here? Do I have that? This is the road?
That's right.
The stone, this is the edge of the road, so it's straw bales. So this was grass and this was wetland. And then this is, or not, yeah, I mean, this is wetland that was temporarily impacted except for one little section, but, over here. And then, okay. So most of this had been answered. I had a question about, you moved the road up. Like the access road got moved north a little bit from the original plan, so when you compare this to the original plans, everything seems to be moved north, which is probably why the areas over here weren't impacted as much as they were expected. But
yeah, we ended up really keeping the existing cart path and just putting new material down. It ended up being plenty wide for construction and vehicle access, fire access, so we really didn't use as much area as we thought we would.
So I think that one of the things I see here, though, is that this wasn't originally in the plan as an area of impact, and it ended up being impacted. See, like there's a little wetland flag. Here, I can blow it up. And you're probably looking. Here, I'll just blow it up as big as I can. So there's, the wetland flag, and then there's something under here that ended up, and I think that this is a new location. But I also...
if I may, that's one of the items we noted when we were going through the iterations of our as-built, where we had our surveyor locate the edge of the installed stone road, and then as you can see the call-out on the left here, one of the items we did was pull that stone back south out of that area. So it was a temporary disturbance. To the left of that, the pullback edge of access road stone.
This over here.
The top left. Yeah, if you move your cursor to the left, there's a call out in black on the
pullback edge of access
plan
road
that's
stone.
posted on the prepared.
Oh, okay. Of access road. So, I mean, is that possible for it to even stay there? I think that's one of the notes I have. I put together a list of questions, which I'm just like flying right now with. But I was just wondering, is that something that can stay there? You pull back the stone, but can any plants grow there?
I think I have pictures of that area. I don't know if they're in the report, but I do have them.
I have the report right here. If you like that, I can just flip. I'm gonna go flip right down. All right, all right, so you guys haven't seen this. This is the start of the wetland replication area.
That was in June of this past year.
All right, I'm not trying, oh, right here, wait, I'm just trying to get rid of that. Okay. Oh, boy, I didn't want to do that. Okay, there we go. And this is early on. Looks like fall, October.
Yeah.
So to give you guys perspective, this is the access road right here. This is facing uphill. And the, what do you call it, detention basin is right here. It's not a detention basin.
Or the forebay, I guess.
Yeah,
Sediment trap.
sediment trap, thank you. That is it in October. So I did notice a couple of exceptionally large multiflora rows. I was hoping that you guys would go and yank that puppy out right in the middle of this thing. It was like beautiful. It was closer to the bridge, to the road, and
Yeah.
my directions, right? Going back to the road is what direction?
North,
Northwest.
Or is that?
by the stream crossing, it's, I guess, further, a little east of there.
So,
But I know it, yeah.
yeah,
Go
so
ahead.
there's a couple of, and they're, you know, it doesn't take long for them to get big. That's sweet, literally. Sensitive fern. Here is our yellow birch. There's a couple in there, right?
Correct.
Was there another variety of tree, or were they just yellow birch, Andrea?
That was it for trees. They're northern arrowwood, and then we supplemented additional woody shrubs with some speckled alder.
Oh, right, okay.
That was new to the plan.
Speckled alder. All right, is this speckled alder right here?
I assumed it was. I'm pretty sure if I zoom in, I look at the buds on that.
Sort of looks like the birch from.
Or it could either be birch or I presumed it was speckled alder. I just took a bunch of photos and then, yeah, I think that's speckled
Hard to say.
alder.
Anyway, okay. It's a little madness right there.
Mm.
We're going with Arrowwood, although I couldn't tell what was what in this picture because there's so much going on and I don't know that plant.
Yeah, the woody veg there is arrowwood, yeah.
Right, this right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Same thing. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and then this is the side of the road, right?
Correct. It's on the south side, the first crossing where that was springtime. We put in those sedge plugs, and then the next photo below is how it just grew pretty dense.
Oh,
Same vantage point.
really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
This is the one just past the crossing.
Correct.
Okay. And is that the same thing, just a different angle?
Correct. Yep. And then that's it in the fall.
Okay.
And that's, I think, on the second crossing on the south side of the road.
Yeah. This is near where the pole is, right? Wasn't like around 117 where one of the,
That's a picture of flag 116, actually. It doesn't show the culvert just in front of it, but that's the location. Actually, it says proximate to 117. I take that back. But 116, you could see in the background down gradient a little bit. That's on the north side of the driveway.
this is,
Further,
oh, I see.
that's 117. 116 is in the background, well, to the left along the edge of the road.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. All right, and I'm just gonna go back to here. And, oh, the north side is here.
Mhm.
Sorry. I don't
That's
see-
okay. So 117,
Right
it's
here?
114 is where that crossing.
Hold on, I'm gonna zoom out just for a second. Oh, these things drive me crazy.
Hmm.
Do you see the wetland flagging on here, or am I missing this? Oh, I maybe.
Yeah,
Let me
some of
go-
the flags are numbered, others aren't.
Oh, okay, hold on a second. I'm gonna go up here. This is gonna have it. This is madness on this picture, but,
Yeah.
all right, this is 114, I think, 116.
Mhm. Yeah.
George, I think if you go in the PDF, second from the left, it says Coy Hill. I think that does a good job of showing the permanent and temporary disturbance.
That's where I got these, I think they started, yeah. This is the one, right? I'm just going through this.
I think it's the PDF that starts with Coy Hill.
Oh, right here.
Yep.
This one, okay, I knew there was one that had mixed. Ah, right. Yeah, this is where we ended up getting all of this. Oh, gosh. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm trying to find this. Oh, for God's sakes. That's the stream crossing, sorry, Pete, I'm,
Mhm.
stream crossing, here we go. Yeah, I mean, this is really the same thing, but there's the
Yeah.
permanent and
Yeah.
temporary area. Well, anyway, okay, I mean, we get sort of the gist of this. So here's the thing, you want a certificate of compliance, partial, or erosion controls can only be removed after disturbed areas have been vegetated for 1 year and 2 years for replication area. We ask that the above-mentioned activities be deemed complete and the order of conditions be extended 1 year to January 24th to complete the vegetative monitoring timelines mentioned previously. So it says construction-related activities pertaining to the driveway, stream crossing, wetland replication area, solar array, and stormwater features are complete. Disturbed areas within the solar array, stormwater features, and areas along driveway have been stabilized. Wetland replication area has been installed and grew through 1 season. So special conditions 48 and 51 Erosion controls can only be removed after disturbed areas have vegetation. Okay, so there's a couple of things. We also have I'm getting here. Of course, I don't have it as a, our conditions also include, we haven't been on site to verify all of this, so I think that we can start our process, Pete, but I don't know that we can make any decisions tonight until we move forward with a couple of things. First, we have an outstanding bill for Beals and Thomas that the last thing they did was this thing that we're looking at, and we still haven't received money on that. So we can't pay them. So
Can you send me a reconciliation showing what they invoiced? Because I think our numbers are off, but I think it's an easy fix if we just kind of get on the same page.
yeah, in fact, I actually have it right here. Hold on a second. I'm going to stop the share. You're not going to have it, but I'll just bring it up anyway.
Can you email it to me when you have a second?
Yeah.
Not right now, just whenever you have a minute.
Yeah, I can absolutely do that. So we'll have to do that. The other thing is that in our conditions, we do have, sorry, you know, there's a million documents that I'm pulling up. You can't see it, but these guys can. All sediment must be removed from the bottom of the basins. There's only one in my jurisdiction, right? Or is there two?
I think there's two.
So the one around the corner from the road, and then the one,
Further south, right?
1 and 2, right? Basins 1 and 2? Right.
Yep.
So, and then also that sediment trap. So basins 1 and 2, and I'm sure all of them, but I can only speak for these. Did you clean out the basin before they were seeded to get rid of the sediment? And are they actually functioning?
They're functioning. Yeah, I was on site probably beginning of this year, and none of the basins had water in them, and they're not capped, so they're functioning. Todd King, our CESWI's been on site. His reports talk about clear water, so I think everything looks good. Looks like it's functioning properly.
So we need, what we will likely have us do is that I'd like to wait till there's vegetation so I can see it, because I can't just look at the dead plants and, the plant, they're not dead, but I just can't look at, I need to see vegetation. So I would like to go out, look at the vegetation, maybe I can drag Andrea with me, and she can point things out. We want to make sure that the basin empties within 72 hours, both of them. And the sediment trap, has that been cleaned out? And that was one of a major concern for us, is the turbidity. From the road, it gets, I know it's going to be settling into there, and hopefully the road is at a point where it's not doing that. I don't know, Andy, if you have comments about that, but whenever we visited the site, some of the issues that we had were the road was, it's a steep road. This is a challenge, right? It's a steep road.
Yeah, we installed the water bars per Andy's guidance, and that seemed to help a lot in that sediment basin.
And so, yeah, the sediment basin was filling, and then when we would visit the site, which hadn't been that frequently, the water was turbid, and then it's going into this new wetland replication. So that's like an infraction right there, right? It's like, so how does that?
So I did do a couple site inspections as part of our certification for completeness for the stormwater management system, as well as the general conformance with the solar array. As Pete mentioned, one of the punch list items that we identified was installing the water bars at multiple locations, which were on the original plans, but it made sense to hold off on installing those where there was still construction traffic on site. But now that it's just going to be periodic maintenance vehicles, it made sense to install the water bars now, and as Pete mentioned, they're definitely helping out mitigate the risk of rural erosion within the steeper access roads, which were creating some of that turbid water. But historically, as Field and Thomas was doing their inspections after storm events, actually seeing the turbid water in the sediment trap and then clean water filtering out through discharge is actually showing that the sediment trap was functioning properly. When I did my site inspection, the sediment trap was completely drawn down, and although there isn't, one thing I do want to clarify is that there isn't riprap at the bottom of the sediment trap. It is supposed to be seeded, and as one of the punch list items, ZPT did clean out that sediment and revegetate the bottom of that sediment trap. So
Right.
I don't know if Andrea has pictures of that included in her report, but when I did my inspection, it was functioning properly.
Oh, that's good, okay. The, as you're going up the road, so you go around the corner, you're going up the road to the field where your gate is.
Mm-hmm.
On the, the road ends up veering right, but if you just went straight, there's that portion of the field. And then there was some serious erosion in that area. And a little beyond it, there was an area that ended up having like a water breakout. And even in the summer, the water was seeping from that area so much that there were wetland plants growing. They had skunk cabbage growing in that area. And it continued to erode. So that, we all know that there's high groundwater. You guys had to work there, the high groundwater in that area. So I'm wondering about that one particular area, because what was happening is that the water was, whatever vegetation was there, wasn't doing a good enough job. It couldn't keep up with the water, except for maybe like having wetland plants there. And then it kept on eroding. There's like a little steep slope that was coming down from that area. So I was wondering how that area was doing, and I was going to recommend, if it's still a problem, that we just plant wetland plants there so it can consume that water that's always going to be there. It's broken out, you'll never be able to put it back. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so that area was matted and then reseeded, and from Todd King's reports, it looks like it took pretty good. But he mentions a couple of areas that are a little bare throughout the site. But I like your recommendation of, if it's gonna be wet, let's just let it be wet.
Let's just let it be wet, because
Right.
that was one area, and it was just, even on the driest time, it was still seeping. And it was,
Sure.
it wasn't a huge area, but it kept on, it will always erode whatever is there. If you have grass, it may kill it because it's too much water. It depends on, Andrea, right? If it's the wrong plant getting too much of something, it's not going to be happy. So there were purple loosestrife, and there were skunk cabbage. I'm like, all right, this is a wetland now, so let's just call it what it is and be done with it. But it's nothing around it. It's not like it's connected. There's no hydrant connection. It's just, the groundwater got broken out, and that's what it is. So anyway, just an idea. I think that would be a really good thing to do. So that, because what's going to happen is that ends up going into the riprap swale that you guys have. That swale goes down, it goes under the culvert, and then it goes into the basin in our jurisdiction. And then if that turbid water gets out, then it's in your right.
Right.
It's all connected. So we're trying to keep that stone clean, and anything that goes into that stone should just be clear water at this point.
Yep, no, I think those plantings are a good idea.
That could be a thing to do. And then getting to the stones, the riprap swale Did you, I know you, at one point you guys were gonna clean that out. Did you do that?
Yeah, the swale you're referencing that goes further south is all new stone.
Oh my gosh, what did you do with all the old stuff? I'm just like a little bit horrified by how much work that is.
I didn't do it.
Yeah.
But it looks good.
So so the stone, the swales were all cleaned out. There was a lot of sediment in there. I mean, there was no way that you could not have done that.
No, it was all cleaned up,
And
and now at this point, whatever happens, come springtime, will just be part of our long-term O&M, and we'll just keep maintaining it.
Yeah, I mean, there was just, yeah,
Needs it.
okay. So,
And that's another location that water bars were installed as well, which will help mitigate real erosion turning into, mitigating the amount of sediment that may get discharged into that stone channel.
right.
So it should be a better condition than what it was during construction.
The other area, which is completely out of my jurisdictions, but I'm just gonna say it anyway, in front of the battery, how many batteries do you have, one or two?
I think there's one battery there.
Yeah, oh my, I can't even remember anymore. But there was some seep on the road there. But that's not really a good place for wetland plants to go, but I don't know if there was something, that doesn't end up going, there was a seep up on, by some panels, and then on the road that just like, what was not going away. And the road seems like if you did something, you could probably prevent the water from going down, but there was another area that had there's a culvert that goes under the road near there, right? There's a culvert that goes under the road, and just beyond the culvert going into the panels, that's where there was a couple of seeps that were like really, really strong, a lot of rust, a lot of like whatever. That's another area that could probably stand a couple of strong wet plants to consume the water.
Yeah, we definitely look at it.
And yeah.
And that was another location we identified. We added another water bar there, even though the access road isn't really steep enough. They would typically require one. We wanted to direct the flow from those seeps to detention basin 3 instead of having that continue to run south along the shoulder of the road. So essentially there's a water bar just north of that culvert that picks up any overland flow and directs it to detention basin 3, which is consistent with what we had for our subwatershed boundaries when we sized that detention basin.
Oh, yeah, okay, all right. That makes sense. Yeah, that's good. All right, so to move forward, I'm gonna send you documentation. I'll send you a PDF of my spreadsheet. We can sync up and you can let me know. I mean, I could have easily made a mistake. Maybe you guys missed a payment, who knows? But let's fix that. Before we give any approval to anybody, we always go on site and check it out. So one final review of that would be a good thing. Andrea, maybe you could like do a walk with, can we have Andrea?
Yeah, I think we should all go.
Yeah, no, that would be really good. I'd like to go and check that out one more time, go through our punch list. And
During the growing season?
during the growing season, yeah. So when things come out, mid-May, June, mid-May? Okay, mid-May, right? Things should be out by mid-May, especially with like some sprouts. What do you think, Andrea? End of May?
Yeah, I mean, that time, there should be, it's not gonna be as lush as it is in the summer, but there is sufficient growth, in May. There's also remnant growth overwintering too. I mean, you could, it's not upright in terms of the herbaceous, but you could see dense cover of things. So that is also one consideration.
Okay. Are you in a huge hurry, Pete?
We have until November this year for that 2-year window on the replication. So not in a huge rush right now.
Okay, then what do you think, Andrea? Maybe June? Like,
Yeah, I mean, May or June would be fine. End of May, beginning of June, to review things. Yeah, that would be adequate.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
Who am I gonna rely on to, should we schedule like a generic week? And then, Pete, you can reach out to us?
Yep. How about the last week in May? I'll reach out mid-May.
Okay, let's do that. All right, so I'm just going to write Pete.
Is that Memorial Day week, or I don't even know when that is.
Well, we can just
That last
get the
week,
conversation
yes.
going. And, it could be like the first week in June for that, you know what I mean? That's fine.
Yep.
As long as it's on the books and we don't drop the ball on that, that's all that matters. Okay. All right, I mean, I think that we're probably in pretty decent shape. And, I look forward to hearing from you in mid-May and seeing you guys in end of May and June. And then Pete, you and I will hash back and forth with
Okay, we go to the bill.
the bill. Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
So my question is, so tonight I requested the partial CFC.
Yeah,
Sounds like we want more time. So
we do want more time. Yeah, I'd like to go on site before.
yeah. So should we call it a 1-year extension to the order to make it January 29th, 2024? Because I think right now it's expired, so I think we do need the extension.
Oh, do you need a 1-year extension on the order? When did it expire? Your work is
January
essentially.
29th.
Yeah, but your work is done. Do you need an extension on the order? How does that work? Andrea, do we need an extension on the order to work in the, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So we still have conditions that we still need to meet.
Right, okay. Gosh, let us officially
So I
extend.
guess we can do the partial CFC, which says construction's done, like you just said, and we're just waiting on stabilization and replication. And in that, we can have conditions that say we're waiting on those last two conditions of the order.
Well, why don't we just vote? Can I have a motion to, and we're just gonna go loose on this, we're gonna have a motion to extend the conditions until, we're just gonna call it, let's give it 3 years, even though they don't need it.
From what date? Today? From June, or January? From the last
Hold on a
expiration?
second. We're a little bit late on that. It expired, and did you ever extend this?
No.
Yeah, if you remember, it got extended because of the COVID tolling.
Oh, it did. How many months did it get extended?
I think it was like 400 something days.
A year.
462 days.
Wow,
Right.
good for you. 462 days. So that's October 2019 is 365. We're gonna add, it's gonna take us to 2020. January 2020. This thing is like past due.
We're already at 23.
23. It's like a little bit past due.
No, I think Pete explained it in the cover letter to the request. It expired the end of January 2023.
Right, yeah, the new expiration date was January 29th, 2023.
3 years would have taken us to 2020, 18, 19, 20, 21. Another year would be 2022, okay. And then January 2022, okay,
Right,
all right.
yep.
All right, my math was bad. Don't ask me to
So
do
we have an
math.
extension from January
From January,
for how many years?
let's make it 3 years, because that's what we usually extend.
All right, make a motion to extend conditions, work conditions until January 26th? That would be 3 years, right?
January 2026. Okay,
Second.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Just in case something disastrous happens, right? It's done. Okay,
Another global pandemic.
let's not be a joke about that. I am like so done. Okay,
Have a good night.
all right, you too. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Like,
Bye.
Thank you.
You were such a diplomat.
So do we have a
Yep.
form for this?
You won't?
What?
Do we have a form for this,
Um,
to extend it?
Yeah, there's 3 of us.
the, that's an audience, right?
Yeah, there's 3 of us.
Right, is there paperwork that has to be?
I'm saying we've got an audience of about the same.
I mean, typically they would submit a letter because they wouldn't even show up, but we just did it verbally and we're good.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Absolutely. All right, well, I went through this paperwork last night, the list of things, they added things, they subtracted things, it is like utter chaos. If they have 90% of this, I am like so happy. But I have to say that when I looked at the wetland replication area, I was really impressed with it. It was, the wetland seed was fabulous. There were more varieties of plants in there than ever before.
Good.
And then they had a couple of trees that they were replacing because they cut a couple of trees down, which was inevitable when they, but they also got rid of a bunch of multiflora rose, which is
I remember it used to be all over there.
all over there, and it probably will come back too. But
You know it's gonna come back.
it's gonna come
Keep
back.
this
I
stuff
know.
out.
It's just, what I was hoping, and I don't know if this is actually the case, is that it is so packed with wetland plants that the multiflora rose would, but it doesn't work that way with that, does it?
No, it kind of outcompetes it. It grows through the ground, through the roots and stuff. It's tough stuff.
It is just like unbelievable. And so I was like, oh, look how beautiful.
And bittersweet.
Bittersweet, yeah. Okay, do we have anything else? Oh, we do. Oh, gosh, okay.
What is it, conditions?
We have to do the conditions for,
And I gave you both special. This is the orders.
okay.
I gave you this. Yeah, and then just signatures on this. That's it.
All right, so let me just go back, because now okay, these are the old ones. This is the new one. The conditions, I'm gonna do a special condition. Project specific. The dewatering. Let me just look up their language and then we can use that.
Yeah, their original plan A was to just pump it off to the side of the road into somebody's yard.
That was probably good. Or they're really hoping they don't get to stage 3.
Yeah.
thing is put together. Conclusion. Dewatering may be necessary during construction of the entry-exit pits or pipeline trench. If there is adequate vegetation and upland areas to function as a filter medium, the water generally will be discharged to the vegetated land surface. So we would have to say dewatering, if dewatering is necessary, water will be pumped into a filter bag.
With flocculent logs.
Into a filter bag with flock logs, right?
Yep.
Or a dewatering basin. And I will say specifically that dewatering, discharging water to vegetated land surface is prohibited. Yeah? Okay. According to plan, violation of these conditions, the determination shall apply to successor, no work until they've received all permits. Commission reserves the right to impose additional conditions. The applicant shall notify the commission before any earth moving. Wetland flagging shall remain in place until the project is done. Sedimentation barrier shall consist of straw, not hay. Prior to the commencement of any earth-moving activity, erosion control socks or a straw bale and silt fence barrier shall be placed between the limits of work and the BVW, I'm gonna say resource areas. Sedimentation barrier shall serve as a limit of work for all project activities. This is a little different, it's in the middle of the road, so it's okay. Any damage caused by this project shall be the responsibility of the applicant. Should any measure fail, we need to be notified. An adequate stockpile of erosion and sediment material shall be on site. The developer and contractor responsible shall be notified and accountable for the requirements of this permit. A copy should be placed on site at all times. They have to adhere to the Town of Warren's topsoil bylaw. All debris, fill, excavated material, construction material, and building material shall be stockpiled. It says 150 feet, but that's not realistic from the resource area. 100 feet? They're in the middle of the road.
We're in the middle of the road, but they're gonna pull the dirt off to the side, right?
Yeah. At no time shall any.
Or will they take it away and bring it clean?
Yeah, a lot of the stuff, they're
Yeah.
gonna stockpile this somewhere.
Well, it's just, it's easier to put them right into a truck
Sure.
than try to dump it and push it up with a bulldozer.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they bring something back.
Yeah, clean fill in an asphalt truck.
Equipment for fuel or refueling operations should be greater than 150 feet, and they can do that. Servicing of equipment, 150 feet distance, they can do that. Overnight storage, they can probably do 100 feet. No trash dumpsters be allowed within 100 feet. Writing 72 hours before any blasting. Sure. Permanent. No herbicides, pesticides, fertilizers. We don't need that one because they're not going to be doing that. Maintenance of culverts, that's not their thing either. We can just. The applicant shall submit with the request for a certificate of compliance an affidavit prepared by an engineer stating that the site has been developed and substantially in compliance with the requirements for this permit. That sounds good. All right. Buffer zones and altered areas have been established with vegetation for a minimum of 1 year. What do they have, like? They have a 2x2 section.
Right, we're gonna cut off the old pipe. Disturb that.
That's it, okay.
Maybe just leave it there. They left the other one in the middle of the road.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah,
They probably said they were gonna cut it off at the bench. So.
they did. They said they're gonna dig down 2 feet and then cut it, and then, that makes sense, because they didn't want it just
They'll cut it
sticking out.
off. They are doing too much work to take. Just, nobody will see it. Cut it off.
We don't need that one. Stabilized slope shall be maintained as designed and constructed. All right, we're gonna, all final earth grading shall be permanently stabilized by the applicant. All right, this is, they're not. Oh, actually. I'm gonna keep that one. Okay. That is that. I'm just gonna add that one thing. And just so they don't do water. And then, I will also just add in there that, just in case, that they will, put the, what is that called? It's like a baffle, but it's not. You mentioned it, and then I. There is a thing called a dirt bag. I never knew that was actually a thing.
Dirt collecting bag?
It's called a dirt bag.
Okay. Somebody's got the name, writing names for
You
that?
put it on straw, and then it's a way to do water.
Okay.
Yes.
Dirt bag. I like it. That should be
Turbidity
brand new.
curtain.
Oh,
Turbidity
yeah.
curtain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you guys can sign this. And do you need me to check off things on here for you?
On the, yes, especially with that one, yeah.
Okay,
Do you want both of them sent to you before they get sent out?
please. In fact, what I'm gonna do is I will, email me the special conditions and I'll type them in because I wanna fix the wording.
Okay.
All right.
The newer version, right?
Send you that. Say that again?
The newer version, not the older one?
The newer version.
Okay.
You can fill in the top part for me?
Okay.
buffer zone, inland resource areas. Oh, these are like pre-checked. All right, so
So I'll uncheck
uncheck that
I don't know
one.
why they're pre-checked. There's a couple that are.
Bordering land subject to flooding, land underwater. This is what they put. Isolated land subject to flooding, nope. Riverfront area. Um, Oh. Riverfront area, total square feet proposed. Oh. Total square feet. Interesting, it's a stream crossing, but they're going underneath it.
Mhm.
Nope. The file number, would you know what the file number is? I have it.
That's going to Carolyn,
Oh,
right?
0258.
Carolyn. Just. So Carolyn's getting that one.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I just made a big note on that too. Certified original, with a copy to Mark.
is this subject to stormwater standards?
I don't know. Probably not, right?
I mean, mostly it's exempt, and it's
Right,
in the
it's
middle
all
of the road, so I'm gonna say
You're gonna have
no.
a pit full of water at the worst. Right, it's just gonna fill it into the pit.
I don't know the
Now
answer.
what do you do with it?
Isn't that crazy? How do I not know that? All right,
Through a dirt bag.
okay, so you attached, and then usable wetlands ordinance applicable, no.
Is that one signed to the page, signature page?
I have signature page.
Yep.
This one. And
That one.
this one, you can put the date on that. Oh, I need to sign
We don't
this.
need the date until we send them out, right?
It's the date that we approved it,
Okay.
which would be
Today's.
today,
8th.
February 8th. 2/8/2023. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna give you this document.
Mm-hmm.
If I have, I think that they sent
Through email.
through email a copy too, so I should be
They
able to.
did that.
All right, and then I'm putting this on top. I'm also gonna give you this back, which belongs to ZBTs. Can I have a motion to accept, what is the word that we use? We are going to approve a permit for Old Warren Road, Boston Gas Company's project, or, come up with the words, because I'm losing it.
Accept the modified order of conditions, something like that?
Well, no, because we're just issuing conditions. So we're approving a project, and then we have to approve the
Motion to
conditions.
approve the conditions for the Boston Gas Company for a gas main replacement project on Old Warren Road. And I think that covers it.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Do you have the special conditions there too?
I do, but I'm taking these with me.
All right, you wanted me to fill at the top, you said? No?
Yeah, but all you have to do is fill in the top with that information.
Okay.
The set of plans and,
All right, perfect then. It's all on here on the NOI, okay.
yeah.
That works, okay. I'm gonna fill in. So we have that and that. Bills. Donna, you want me to just send you the information then? You don't want her file?
I'm gonna need her file eventually, so don't put it away. But it's best that you keep the file in the office, on the desk where it was,
Perfect.
on that front table.
Yep.
And when I need it, I'll just come in and get it,
Okay.
because I don't wanna have that.
If you want the special conditions and the orders of conditions, I can email those to you.
Oh, do you have those for, yeah, if you have those for her,
I
just
have these
email.
two, I can get that scanned in and email you that.
Yeah, that would be good. Just, just the special conditions, the other conditions are just
Okay.
DEPs.
Mhm.
And,
So,
and then, yeah, just send that along with her contact information. And I will reach out to her. Who wants to join me in meeting Donna Young?
You have to meet with her?
Well, the thing is that she is doing, honestly, I should have her come to the next meeting, it depends. She is,
What did she get, what's the first?
there's a
step?
wetland replication on that project, because they have to cross through a driveway, remember?
Yes.
Donna Young is across from
Yes.
the high school,
Yeah,
and it's a small wetland replication, but frankly, I have to look at those plans. My memory isn't,
well, I would suggest she comes to a meeting first, and then we can schedule, if we have to go there, then we schedule it.
yeah, okay, I think that's a good idea. So her engineer can come and discuss their,
So they can answer the question. You'll be reviewed and up to date by then?
exactly,
Oh, yeah. Good for you.
She's still
exactly.
trying to build a house there, is that what's going on?
Yeah, well, she got a permit. I didn't think it was gonna happen. I was thinking about that recently too, and I'm
I
like,
forgot
oh,
all about that piece. of
totally
property.
forgot all about that. I'm like, man.
Well, she missed the bubble, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I guess.
I suppose we'll see in the spring, right?
Well, cost of stuff kills you. even today.
Wood's gone way down,
It would have, but
not labor.
it's that's all, 100 feet of electrical. 300-foot piece of electrical wire for
Yeah.
lighting your house.
Copper is still way
It's
up.
like, whoa. And the plumbing stuff.
Oh, the plumbing stuff.
Yeah, Richard Demetrius said it's cost him 3 times put in a bathroom and sink and stuff in a house, to build a house, it's cost him 3 times the amount before this all hit.
Really?
Yeah, it's gone up 3 times for a whole bathroom. And you know, they're talking about paying for the labor, paying, not doing it themselves, just buy the material
Sure.
and then paying for a guy to put it all in.
3 times, huh?
That's what he just said.
Is that the house on North Street?
Or
Or is this
Members 30 per
Road
workshop.
up in there, you know, he's building those little houses to the right. Well, they've got another one planned for down in there, after the last one, they just stopped.
Yeah, they cleared the land for a third one.
And they just stopped, he just said, it's,
Wow, that is crazy.
You know, well, that's why the price of
Digital
housing-
program book,
housing went up.
ad
That was
registration,
our cost.
registration
And bill.
options. That is fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want a deadline.
yeah, no, it's,
What is
it's
the deadline?
finding somebody,
Mm,
that's the other thing.
mm.
My daughter had a little leak from this cold snap in her house up in Lowell, and she has a plumber she uses. The guy called her, "How bad is the leak?" She says, "Well, it's dripping from a pipe." He says, please understand, we got people way worse than you. She said, "You got water?" She says, "Yeah, it's just a little drip coming out." He says, "You're gonna have to wait."
Oh,
He says,
oh,
"I
that's
understand."
really disappointing.
Put a pot over it.
So, it's virtual. I
Oh.
thought it was in person, and they're doing, pay as you, so you can just pick one workshop, or you can go to all the workshops. So one workshop would be like $30 or something like that. So I'll send it to you, and I'll look at it. If you wanna if there's something that's really super interesting to you, take it, and if
Okay.
not, don't. I mean, I've been to 1,000,000 of them, I usually enjoy,
I like
part,
going for the lunch.
I like going for the lunch, but I always learn something, but the best part is going and you don't get to necessarily meet somebody on Zoom, that's really the best part of it, you learn a lot from other towns. And, there's a question and answer period on these Zoom meetings, which is fine, but it's not the same as sitting next to somebody and really getting into it. And I'm sure, it's just a whole different thing.
Right, so you're not doing in person.
I'm surprised did you hear that the pandemic has officially been,
Right.
Yeah, it's over.
Well-
it's not really, because people are still getting sick, but,
But
Yeah.
if we're done worrying about it. People still get it, that's for sure.
people still get it, and there's a lot of people who are still worried about it. A friend of mine just had it recently,
Roland Blake and his wife both had it, they were sick for a month.
oh,
Really?
really?
Really, I think he's what, 85? Yeah, he's 85, I'm not sure what Maureen is, but he said that my grandson gave it to him. Came up from a visit from the Cape, he says, he's on his way up, his parents called him, tell him that they've tested positive, instead of turning around and going back, he came and visited us.
They just made Western New England, the kids have to wear masks going into school. Western New England, they
College?
just, the college, they just got an email tonight. Masks are required because the numbers are going up.
Oh, see, I guess it is not over
It's
after
not.
all.
It's not over.
No,
It
because
really
they're
isn't.
required to wear it.
Yeah, well, it's
And
not
that's
over, that's
as
for
of
sure.
today.
All right, motion to adjourn?
I think so, just, we're good, correct?
Yeah.
All right.
March 8th.
Second?
Motion to adjourn.
All in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And we're meeting